Reno versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
I don't think this is a deck where I keep the Twilight Drake. I think my hand is kinda bad if this is Tempo Mage. Turn 1 mirror image, huh? It's not worth using this on one of these, because likely he played those so he could protect something, and then this can just go past the taunts to kill what he's protecting anyway.
Let's make magic.
I figured it would be this, because if it was Sorcerer's Apprentice you could just play the mirror images next turn, since they would cost 0. Yeah, I mean, killing this has to be the right play. It even lets me ping down that. I don't think I need cards bad enough right now to play out the Thalnos. Getting the spell damage effect on the Thalnos might be pretty good. I can either play the Historian here, discover a dragon, and probably just hero power the Flamewaker, or I can take this turn to develop my Ice Block. I'm not in any danger of dying, but it seems like it might be kinda hard to find the time to play Ice Block in the future. And the Netherspite Historian doesn't really do that much for me here. I already have Azure Drake for next turn, and if I'm discovering like a huge 9-mana dragon, I can't play it for several turns anyway. I think I'll just take this opportunity to get the block up. Another good reason to get the block up now is it's not always obvious when a Tempo Mage can kill you, because they can burst so much damage. So later on I might think I'm fine at like 22, and then just kidding, I'm actually dead. Especially if he's making aggressive plays like this. I don't really have too many options other than the Azure Drake here. I guess I could like hero power this guy and play the Netherspite Historian, but I don't think killing the Thalnos is that important. My next 2 turns might be Frost Nova into Flame Strike. Kind of depends on how he develops over these couple turns.
I want to cast a spell.
It sure looks like I want to play Frost Nova into Flame Strike. Like, he has so many minions on the board, but so many of them are not that strong. But the Flamewaker is really scary, and the Flame Strike isn't really that good in this matchup anyway. Tempo Mage plays like 20 spells, so if I can kill 6 minions, even if 4 or 5 of them aren't that good, it's probably a nice use of my Flame Strike. So I guess the question is, what do I play along with it? I can either go Babbling Book plus Netherspite Historian, or Acolyte of Pain.
What to do?
Or I guess I could even go Book plus Thalnos, and then if he doesn't ping the Thalnos, maybe I get Spell Damage Flame Strike, which doesn't seem relevant here, but I guess it might be next turn.
Time runs out on me.
I think I like Acolyte better than Historian Babbling Book, because I really need to draw Reno. I think I need Reno to win this game. Wow, he's just giving me draws on Acolyte, potentially. This is another good reason to play the Acolyte. It's very likely that he can pop my block next turn, even if I Flame Strike him. So maybe I should go like Thalnos, Forgotten Torch to kill this, hero power one of these guys. Then he can hero power and 1/1 me. And if he doesn't have like the Frostbolt or something, that does accelerate the clock by 1 turn. But it also accelerates my draw. I guess I like just playing the Flame Strike here.
Time runs out on me.
I think this is a little bit questionable. 4 cards in hand, it's really likely that he has a Frostbolt or something. Wow, Fireball. I have 17 cards in the deck, so I can ping my Acolyte to draw for Reno, or I can play Babbling Book to go for Ice Block. I guess if I ping the Acolyte, I can also draw Refreshment Vendor, which is pretty likely to keep me alive. And I guess I can go ping and then book, and then still have mana for the ice block if I get it. So Bran book is 4 mana. I wouldn't have mana for the ice block if I picked it up. Well, that's pretty lucky. Go ahead and take this opportunity to play this. He might not even be able to pop me here. He had to use a fireball to do it last turn, which couldn't have felt too good. Wow, I'm not even getting popped. It's kind of weird to me that he's playing Medivh in that deck, considering how aggressively he was playing it. So how do I want to kill this guy? I can go for Drake, Torch, which is 4, and then send in my whole board. I would draw a card off Drake and a card off Acolyte. Could also just polymorph this guy. And then I'd still have to trade in one of my 1/1s. I think I like the Drake Torch play a little bit better. Although actually, now that I think about this, no, I don't like that better. Because the Torch puts a card in my deck and makes it harder to draw Reno. Or Alexstrasza. Alex would also be good. I can still Kabbalist Tome into an ice block next turn. Might have too many cards in my hand though. I'm gonna have 9.
Someday I'll be just like you.
So what's more likely? Arcane Intellect gives me a 1 in 6 chance to draw Reno. I believe that's the only out in my deck. Actually, the Refreshment Vendor might still be good enough. Otherwise I can play Kabbalist Tome and try to get Ice Block. Times like this that it would be nice to know the odds on Kabbalist Tome. Looks like I'm dead here. Pretty unlucky to have Alex and Reno in my bottom 10. Although I guess if Alex had been in either of the two I just drew, I wouldn't have had the mana for her. And Refreshment Vendor was down there. Pretty rough.
You win.
Jaina versus Khadgar.
Knowledge is power.
You asked for it.
I think I keep the Frostbolt, assuming it's Tempo Mage. I guess on the coin maybe I could have held the Twilight Drake. But as we saw from last game, I really want Reno. So I don't think I like keeping it on removal cards for the early game.
Let's make magic.
This is actually kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's better to use Forbidden Flame or Frostbolt here. I guess I'm going to use the Flame. One of the good Forbidden Flame targets would be like Flamewaker, but for 4 mana I can just Frostbolt Hero Power it. And then there are other situations where I can just use the Frostbolt more flexibly for 2 mana. Seems like I'm just using both of them over the first 2 turns, or the first 3 turns anyway, so it didn't matter. I think that turn 2 decision was actually pretty interesting though. Maybe last turn I could have just hero powered the 3/2 instead of using the Frostbolt on it. I don't know if that's correct in the long term, but it would have worked out better, because then I could have just hero powered it here and then Frostbolted the Sorcerer's Apprentice. So there are a few plays here. Hero Power Pass, Fireball a 3/2, or Coin either of my 5 drops. I don't think I like using the Fireball on a 3/2. I also don't really like playing the Azure Drake because it's so easy for him to just like hero power and send this guy in, or just have like a 1 mana Frostbolt and hero power. I guess he only has 2 mana alongside that. I kind of want to play the Kabbalist Tome here, but it's so bad for the board. I guess I'm gonna go for the Azure Drake. If he has to hero power and send this guy in, then I should have a lot of room to play the Tome next turn. Alright, that's not too bad. 0 mana kill your Azure Drake is pretty good, but then he ended up floating 3 mana basically, so it worked out for me. So the plays here are Hero Power, Do Nothing, or Kabbalah's Tome. So I think I'm gonna go for the Tome. Second Ice Block is pretty nice for sure, and then the other Kabbalah's Tome is of course also good.
By the power of Ragnaros, I have the power!
It looks like I probably want to Fireball the Thaurissan. Question is, do I Hero Power down the Thalnos, or use the Arcane Blast to kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice? I guess I don't have to kill Thaurissan this turn, he only has 3 cards in his hand. But it seems like a bad idea to give him more discounts. I think I like killing off the Sorcerer's Apprentice. 1, the Sorcerer's Apprentice just does more damage. And 2, if I kill off the Thalnos, that gives him an extra card to work with this turn, and he's pretty low on cards. And since I have no minions on board, he can't kill off the Thalnos easily on his own. I might have to polymorph that guy. He's going to deal a lot of damage to me if I don't. And I guess along with the polymorph I develop the block. That's not a great polymorph target, but that deck doesn't necessarily always have good polymorph targets. I think they usually play Rag, though. Polymorph is definitely my best answer to Rag. I think with this hand I want to go for Thaurissan. In Freeze Mage, it's really nice to get a discount on both Alexstrasza and Ice Block because you can play them both in the same turn. Not sure if it'll be as important in this matchup. This time I'm killing off the Thalnos instead of the other 1/1, because he can just trade it in to get his card anyway if he really wants it, and since I have a thing on board, the spell damage might be relevant. And also maybe killing off the spell damage guy means he can't pop my block this turn or something. I think if he has just Frostbolt, he's 1 off, whereas the spell damage would have killed me. Or would have popped me. So I have to play Reno or Alexstrasza or Ice Block here. Kinda sucks to play Reno here because then he can just hit me in the face again for like 10 next turn. But it does also let me develop the second block. I guess I just develop a Spellbinder alongside that. So it will be a little bit more difficult for him to kill the Reno. If I play just Alexstrasza here, I might just die. So that seems like a bad idea. I could go for like Reno Kabbalah's Tome or something. But I think well, I guess I do have the room to do that. I kinda like getting the Spellbinder up to protect my Reno though. And I need that Ice Block up eventually. It's not from a babbling book or anything, that card's just actually in his deck. I think he was playing the Arcane Explosion first to check for Counterspell. Boom, Spellbinder. Get wrecked. Oh, that stops... I thought it stopped the missiles on the Flamewaker for a second. Man, it would have been so good for me if that didn't set my Reno down to 1. You would have had to trade in something other than the sheep. Man, I actually don't feel very comfortable right now. I feel like I could die soon. I guess I should play the Kabbalah's Tome here. I'm kind of running out of stuff to do and I need removal for these guys. So I could play... I'm playing either Frost Nova or Blizzard here. Playing a Frost Nova over a Blizzard doesn't really allow me to do anything else. So unless this book changes something, I'll just play the Blizzard here. Is this better than Blizzard? Lets me take 8 damage off the board immediately. I think I just like the Blizzard here though. Puts this Mana Worm in Hero Power range, or next turn I can go like Hero Power the Flame Waker and Arcane Explosion to kill both. I think with double Ice Block, Reno, and Alexstrasza, I might actually still lose this game. I hope he didn't DC. Come on, man. Okay, he spent all his mana. I have a clear here with Arcane Explosion, Forgotten Torch, and Hero Power. I don't get to develop anything if I do that, though. Maybe it's just Hero Power and Firelands Portal? That doesn't let me check for the secret, though. And if that secret is, like, Counterspell or Spellbender, I can kinda get wrecked.
Time runs out on me.
That's not good. Maybe I should have started with a Frost Nova. Oh wait, this actually works out. I mean, yeah, that's why I did that play, because I knew my Dragon's Breath would cost less. Yeah, totally planned out in advance.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
The last mage I was playing against had a Medivh. Now I have the Harrison, so I think I'd like to see a Medivh. Are there any 5-cost Inspire minions that have negative effects? I don't think there are.
What to do?
The shadows beckon.
Maybe I should have just played Acolyte instead of hero powering that guy down. Like, it's nice to just prevent all the damage that I can, but playing Acolyte and drawing some cards might help me prevent more damage in the long run.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
That is a really nice Flame Strike. How many missiles did he get that turn? 4? And only one of them hit my Shadowcaster? It's pretty lucky for me. That's about as good as the Flame Strike gets in this matchup.
Marvelous.
I guess all things considered, that was actually pretty bad for a 10 mana card. I think I want to hold Bran, or maybe the Refreshment Vendor in this matchup, or at this point in the matchup, because I'm getting pretty low. Maybe I just play my Alexstrasza here. She only heals for 10 instead of 14. But she is an 8/8 on the board, he's only going to have 4 cards to deal with her, and I don't really have much of another play here. I mean, I can develop Harrison Jones, but Harrison dies to, like, Flame Strike, which he might just play, or like the 3 damage spells plus a hero power. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this. It also lets me play the Thalnos to draw some cards, and I'm pretty lacking on cards. Plus, if I play out the Alexstrasza here, that leaves like 4 cards in my deck that aren't active anymore, because Alexstrasza is my last dragon right now. Ooh, the Kabbalist's Tome off the Babbling Book is pretty bad for me. He was running kinda low on stuff. This might be a hero power pass turn.
Time for a lesson, insolent pup.
Oh, okay, it's Vaporize. Do I have to play my Alexstrasza here? No, I guess I don't have to. I have Firelands Portal to deal with whenever he plays. Plus I still have 2 Frost Novas if I start falling behind. He popped me at 5 instead of 4. But it looks like he's not going to get punished for it because I have to play Alex here anyway. He could have easily just played the Arcane Intellect before the Fireball and then realized that he had mana. He could have gotten 1 additional power on the Mana Worm, because he would have drawn it and then played the Fireball afterward. I do have to play my Alex here though. I wonder if I Frost Nova just this Mana Worm.
I bring life. Time runs out on me.
I think I'm gonna play the Nova here. I really don't want to take like 4 damage from a Mana Worm this turn.
You require my assistance? Aha! Aha!
I do need to kill Antonidas here. I think I'm actually gonna Frost Nova. I'm actually tempted to play the Doomsayer here just to slow him down. But no, that's not worth it. If he sends Burn at my Alexstrasza to save his Mana Worm, then it's not going to my face. Looks like I'm dead. I could have healed myself with Refreshment Window there, but I would have just taken damage from the Mana Worm anyway, and I felt like I needed Brand Refreshment Window to live. Wow, double Ice Block Alexstrasza and Reno and I still lost.